Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV was released last year and was directed by Takashi Nozue. I probably butchered the name big time, but I'm going with it anyway, so bear with me. This movie's about a Kingsglaive soldier named Nyx, who is voiced by Aaron Paul, as he watches the fall of the nation of Lucius after it was attacked by the Niflheim, however you say it, Niflheim Empire. So now he must protect the king and this magical crystal that keeps the city safe. With me today, once again, is Jaren Haneker, also known as Robo Samurai on YouTube. I'll put the thing right over here, like I normally do. Thank you for joining me again after so many months. Last time we did one was Under the Red Hood.
I know, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, always. So, what did you think of the movie?
I honestly want to hear your opinions first, because I know you haven't played the game yet.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention this. This movie is the prologue, technically, of the game Final Fantasy XV. It's basically, it takes place before/during, I'm guessing, the beginning of Final Fantasy XV, the video game.
Yeah, so just a quick little synopsis. It's no spoilers for Final Fantasy XV, but when you start the game of Final Fantasy XV, you're leaving Insomnia, the main city. This is when Kingsglaive takes place. After Noctis and gang leave, Kingsglaive happens. Okay. So while they're having their adventure, Kingsglaive is happening right now.
Okay, gotcha. So, a little bit of a Final Fantasy fun fact right there for you. My thoughts on this movie. Oh boy. So, you know how I did my review on Valerian earlier this year. This movie probably matches the horribleness, if not slightly above Valerian's horribleness, in my opinion. Valerian was a very bad movie, but it was visually appealing. And that's kind of this movie as well. It was a very bad movie, story and character-wise, but it visually looked beautiful. That's my opinion on it so far.
Yeah, the visuals were amazing. I love the visuals.
It looked so freaking real. Like, oh my god. Like, it just looks like everything in there, for the most part, I will say. It looks like it's so real world. I mean, you can tell it's anime when you kind of like, when there's like those zoomed in shots and all that, but when you're looking from far away and you see like the whole city and all that, it looks like Ghost in the Shell all over you. Like, everything looks so real because it's all just like,
right
there.
If one thing with Square Enix movies, they do a really good job with their CGI.
Yeah, and they do that really well with their games, too. A lot of, like, Kingdom Hearts and the other Final Fantasy games, or the newer ones at least, they do really well with the visuals on it and the realistic of it. Like, the realistic look of it, even though it's not real.
Right, like, I mean, I'd argue that Final Fantasy XV, the graphics actually look like the graphics that were used for Advent Children, which is honestly a better Final Fantasy movie.
Yeah, that was another thing. We were going to do Advent Children originally, but I'm trying to keep it in the newer movie range, and that movie came out in 2005, even though it looks like it came out in 2010, 12, because of how fucking beautiful it looks. Pardon the French.
I was surprised when we looked it up.
Yeah, I thought it came out, because when I first thought of it, I was like, oh, it came out in like 2010, and it kind of did for like the Blu-ray version and the complete version.
Yeah, the complete version came out later.
Yeah, but originally it was in 2005. I'm like, what now? Come again? It threw me off. But anyway, back to this movie, back to Kingsglaive. So to start off with, the movie jumps right into the action at the very beginning, and it gets your attention relatively quickly. But then after that, you kind of lose interest in it.
Yeah, it's very disjointed, and this is the main issue with Kingsglaive. You have to kind of know a lot of the Final Fantasy XV lore and universe to kind of get what was going on.
Yeah,
I constantly looked over at you while you were watching, and you looked very confused.
I was very confused.
While for me... Oh, excuse me. Sorry. While for me, I was able to understand a bit more, because it filled in some plot holes that were in the game.
Yeah, I haven't played the game yet. That was on my agenda originally, and it's going to continue to be on my agenda after everything else in life goes through. But, yeah, he was telling me that the game... You have to play the game in order to actually understand what the hell is going on with the rest of the movie itself.
And once you play the game, you'll find where these plot holes are, and you'll be like, oh, this was in the movie. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay,
but it doesn't solve everything.
I would say, so playing the game and then watching the movie and knowing that, what do you still think of the movie itself? because you heard my opinion, and that's from somebody that hasn't played the game and kind of went into this movie not really knowing much about their world, compared to going into it by someone who has played the game and who has seen the movie before and knowing everything that goes on a bit more.
You see, even though I played the game, I was still a bit lost. There were still some moments and key pieces where I'm just like, why is this happening? What's going on? Why are there so many plot lines?
And I think that was probably the biggest, if not the biggest, issue with this movie was the plot that I kind of read off, spoiler alert, I kind of got off IMDb and I kind of pieced together a little bit, because when you watch this movie, there's so many plots going on and subplots going on that you don't really know what the movie's about. Like one plot is Nyx trying to save this whole city. Another one is, what was her name again? Lucia? Luna, who's voiced by Elena Hedy, tomato, voiced by her, and she's got her own little thing, and then there's a thing with the king who's voiced by Sean Bean, and he's got his own line, then there's a line of this side character who apparently is important, and there's so many plots in this movie that you can't really keep up with.
It's almost like the team came up with all these different ideas that they really liked, but they couldn't decide on one, so they're just like, screw it.
Fuck it, we're putting them all together.
Put it all in.
We got this idea, fuck it, let's put it all together. People will understand.
And no, we did
not.
understand.
Dear Square Enix, you're good with your games, but get gooder with your movies. So, yeah, like I said, the plot was very unappealing to me. After the first, it was long. The movie was long. It was like 2 hours and 20 minutes, which normally is not a long movie, but because of how slow-paced it was, and how it was slow-paced, but there was a lot of stuff happening in this movie that you couldn't really keep up, because there was so much stuff happening. Like, this dude's meeting with the king, and then he's trying to make a deal with the king, and there's this fight going on, and they're in this bar or whatever, and it's like the first 14 minutes, and all this shit's going down, and then it's like, wait, all that was only 14 minutes? Feels like the movie's halfway over already.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, there's still like another 2 hours of the movie you gotta watch, buddy. Nope.
See, here's the thing. Kingsglaive does an amazing job with their fight animations and their fight scenes.
Yes.
But they don't have a good story that gives it a reason for why it's happening.
And I think because with movies, normally the bigger is better thing, and I think after they had a somewhat successful run with Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which is a great movie, I don't care what other people say and how bad the ratings were on it, it was a good movie. And yeah, it had a lot of subplots to it too, but they were all, they had subplots, it had character development, which we will get to in a moment, but they all revolved around the main plot of the movie, which was Cloud's redemption in a way, and Cloud's change of heart. This movie there's all these things going on, but they don't really all tie together, except for the fact that regardless, the city's getting attacked. That's the only way they all tie together.
The only thing that actually does get tied together is that all these events tie into Final Fantasy XV.
Yeah, also that, which, again, still haven't played.
Right, and I'm not going to get into these spoilers, but it's just, you can't make a movie centered around that.
Yeah, another thing about this movie, we'll do character arc now, and I'll get to what I was going to say. The character arc in this movie was zero. One character, minor, had a backwards character arc than a forward character arc. And that was the best friend with the broken leg.
Do you really want to count that?
It was because he was a good guy. Then he went character backwards arc into saying fuck the government.
Right.
And then after realizing stuff, he re-character arced into good guy mode again, I guess.
I guess.
That was the most character arc, and he wasn't even the main character. Nyx was the main character, and he didn't change once in the whole movie. He was still loyal to the king. He knew everything that was going on, and that was it.
Did we ever get any closure with his flashbacks?
No. I still don't even know what the... Another thing about his character, he had these flashbacks to apparently his dead sister.
Yeah,
Not once was it explained in the fucking movie they never explained what happened. They explained that his sister died. They never explained how. They never explained when. They never explained why.
No, they did explain it. This is when he went to the bathroom. They did explain it, but it wasn't in a very good way. It was very rushed. He was just like, yeah, the Empire killed my sister. That's it.
They make it this big deal in the movie, and then we find out, it's like, oh yeah, the Empire killed my sister. So, anyways, we gotta do this mission now? It's like, wait, what? You just brushed over that? And then the whole movie, you're getting these, like, moments, like this PTSD moment, and it's causing you not to be able to do shit? Like, come on.
And you see, they also...
Give us more of a reason to care. Like, with Cloud and the whole flashback thing that he got with, I think it was, Aerith or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had more of a reason for his flashbacks, and people know it. I mean, even if you've never played Final Fantasy games, you've heard about it. It's memes all over. You go to Comic-Con, you're bound to see it once. It's everywhere. People know it.
And you see, the thing with Final Fantasy Advent Children was Cloud had the stigma, and he was ready to give up life.
Stigma was a curse, by the way.
Yeah.
I know it's that we're not even doing a review on that movie.
And he felt the guilt. He feels guilty for Aerith's death.
Yeah.
And so he's just ready to give up life and everyone he knows. He's just ready to give it all up.
Yeah.
And that was really cool character depth for him. But here there's nothing.
Yeah, there's really nothing.
We just have a cocky guy who has a dagger that can teleport.
That teleporting was fucking awesome, though.
The
action scenes in this movie, again, were freaking amazing. They were beautiful in every way imaginable. The fighting scenes and the visuals were
even the
beautiful.
particle effects they used for, like...
the particle effects from, like, when he was teleporting and shit was amazing. But that was it. That was all the movie had for it, that it was going. The visuals and the badass fighting scene, which, admittedly, Square Enix, you guys do an amazing job with your fight scenes. Like, in anything that you've done, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy games, your fight scenes are awesome. You just need to learn how to make the controls consistent and understandable in other games, like with Kingdom Hearts comparing to Final Fantasy, put those two together, and then... Yeah. Sorry, I'm going on my own little tangent there.
We love Square Enix, by the way.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Hashtag not sponsored, hashtag maybe sponsored if I want, if they just ever talk to me about it, it could be sponsored, but not sponsored. Another thing that they did was, they kept it... I know this isn't really much review, this is more just discussion of the movie, but they kept a lot of, like, advertisement in this movie. Like, there was Beats advertisement, there was Audi advertisement, hashtag not sponsored on either of those.
No, apparently Audi was actually a big sponsor, because they actually had a whole advertisement circle when the movie was coming out.
Yeah,
like,
they
by
did.
Audi.
They did with Square Enix, but we aren't sponsoring that.
Oh yeah, no,
they aren't
that's
giving us
what I
money. They aren't giving us money for that. I'm just saying that they were obviously in the movie. If they gave us money for that, it'd be another story. But not there yet. We'll get there eventually. Oh, I was gonna say something else about this fucking movie.
Advertisements.
No, we already discussed that.
Oh, I thought you were going to continue that.
Action, visuals.
Let's talk about the villain.
What villain? Oh, yeah, let's talk about the villain, a.k.a... Not even a.k.a., there's like...
What was his name?
Wait, are we talking about the captain? Are we talking about the counselor? Are we talking about the king? Or are we talking about the random guy who's like, this ring is mine? And his arm burst into flames.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I guess there was two guys that did that. Spoiler alert! But guess what? You don't know what guys. Yeah, what are we talking about?
I'm talking about the captain.
The captain, okay.
I don't even know his name.
I don't know his name. I don't care to know his name. Because he just fucking appeared. He was in this fight, and they were like, oh yeah, this captain dude is kind of a badass. And then he just starts popping up randomly in the movie, and there's no purpose to him. He's like, if we work together with the Empire, the world will be set free. And it's like, whose side are you on? Are you on your own side? Are you on their side? You're mentioning them, but are you on your own side? You're never seen with them, ever. You're seen by yourself, and, I mean, I get you're a badass. Cool story, bro. Bravo for you, but whose side are you on? You're not even the main antagonist.
Yeah, they did do a good job. Good job with him.
They didn't do a very good job. Like, come on. I remember what I was going to say.
You got it?
Yeah, sorry for snapping in the mic. I'm used to snapping. This movie, and the characters of this movie, remind me of Rogue One. They're expendable. These are characters in this movie, mind you, that you don't have to give a shit about. You watch them in a movie, but then you don't really care about them because you will never see them again. You will see one person go into the video game from that movie, I bet. And that's, what, Luna?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one character that you will probably see in the video game. Everybody else you probably don't even see in the game. Am I wrong?
Spoiler. No, you're not wrong.
Yeah. It's not even a spoiler. Like, when you watch the movie and you realize, oh, I'm probably never going to see them again. You're damn right you're not going to see them again. They're expendable characters, which is, it's fine in certain occasions. Very, very certain occasions. But for a movie like this, where it's tied into something much bigger, then having those expendable characters gives you more of a reason that at the end of the movie, you're like, why did I spend all this time watching this movie?
Honestly, what would have made for a better movie would be the Gladio DLC. Because there's a point in the story where one of your companions has to leave for a little bit, then you don't see him for a while, then he just comes back. And they made that into playable DLC. But I think that would have been better as a movie rather than DLC.
You know what would have been better than making it a movie? Is if they made Kingsglaive not a prologue and made it tied into the timing of Final Fantasy XV going on, and then have him just pop up in the movie and doing all this stuff to help them, so we know at least, oh hey, I remember you in the game, you're actually helping these guys, which is why you're not in the game right now.
Yeah.
That probably would have been better.
Square
Enix, there's your idea. You heard it from here. Just make sure you at least
just cite them in some way.
Yeah, just give us the naming on it. Just let people know that we were the ones that came up with it. Because if not, I got the video. It's just this movie. Back to this movie, because that's obviously what this.
Something I made a note of was you said it too, that the dialogue wasn't the best, but something I caught on to was very, very expositional. Like,
yeah,
it's like they were treating the fans, like, or the audience, that they knew nothing about the Final Fantasy world, and they just kind of dumped all that onto you. Like, I'm referring back to the restaurant scene where they're like,
"What you put in this? Tastes like a chocobo turd."
Hey, shut your trap. This ain't Galad. That's the way folks around here like it.
Oh, well, I'm glad to see you're willing to sell out our heritage for a few extra gil.
Okay, I think everyone who is watching a Final Fantasy movie is gonna know what a chocobo is.
Yeah.
And what gil is.
Yeah. I mean, that part I didn't mind too much, because they're obviously talking about their time and how, you know, they're keeping it relevant to their world. So that part I didn't mind too much.
It could just be
the big parts that I minded were when they were going full-fledged description into everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Aside from the very beginning, where they were kind of setting up the world for you, which I didn't mind out. When you set up the world at the very beginning, you leave it at that, and then you carry on with the actual movie. I just cut your head out frame with hand.
Well, you see, the thing I actually like that too, because Final Fantasy XV doesn't have that.
Yeah.
They just throw you in.
They describe the world to you in the movie at the very beginning, and everything that's going on, which is fine. I like it when they do that. They give you the quick setup of the world, and then they push you into the movie. They did that with Final Fantasy VII as well. In this movie, they do that, but then they continue to be like, oh yeah, here's everything else in this world that you probably don't know that wasn't described. And it's like, you kind of told us at the beginning, rather than try and make it like, you made it like Valerian, where everything was described to you in the movie, rather than like...
Although I feel like they did a bit better job here than in Valerian, because Valerian was just... Yeah. We don't.
I can't believe I spent money on that movie.
I almost went broke over that movie.
Thus the sign, don't see that movie until it comes out for free on somehow. If you choose to watch that movie, wait until it comes out for free on somewhere. Don't pay money to see that movie. You will be gravely disappointed and will demand a refund, which is what I should have done that day.
That's what we all should have done.
We should have. We walked out of that theater, didn't even think about asking for a refund. We walked out there and we were like, that was a horrible movie, and then we left it at that. I wonder if they'll ever give me my money back if I went now.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Again. I keep saying again. Anyways, again. This movie, we had blank out moment. Sorry about that. Cut. I had a very hard time staying interested in this movie. Because the very beginning of the movie caught my interest, and I was like, oh, it's going to be good. Hopefully it's going to be Final Fantasy VII good. But after that scene, it's just so much dialogue, and it's basically pointless. It's pointless
It's a
dialogue.
bunch of talking heads, to be honest.
It is. Like, the body, like, they just don't look like they give a damn about it. And it's like, they're drawn characters, and they're not actual paid actors to go out and do it and actually supposed to look like it. But you can draw them and give them feeling and such. But no, they made them look like these characters really don't want to be here, and they really don't care about anything. At all.
The only time that
Ever.
worked was with Cloud. That's the only time it works.
Well, even with Cloud, though, like, his character
That's true. His
is
face
made that way. His character was specifically made that way, and then you, at least with Cloud, he still had facial expressions.
Yeah, like you were. It was clear, even though he's always moody and like not interested.
Yeah, he's
but
still,
you could tell when he's like, "Okay, I need to do this."
or like if he was like pissed off at the Turk saying something, he's just like angry eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In conclusion to this whole thing, because we're running at another long review that will probably be edited greatly. This movie is probably a movie that, thankfully, it's out now. If you spent the money to see this movie, I'm sorry for you. If you spent the money to buy this movie, I feel even more sorry for you. If you pulled the shit he did and bought the game and got the movie for free, then you're a genius.
I mean, honestly, I just wanted the deluxe edition.
Don't we all? Before I give the overall review of the movie, the overall grade of this movie and my grade, what would you give this movie?
See, I know you work with letter grades.
Yeah.
I don't like letter grades. I just don't like them. But I use a 10-point system, and I'd give this about probably a 5 out of 10, just because the visuals were so well done, and the animation was done well, and the action was pretty good, but it doesn't hit anything else on there.
Yeah. Now, letter grade wise, before I say my letter grade wise, I'm going to put in consideration of the reason I'm giving it this grade, because to me, 5 out of 10 seems still pretty high.
Well, that's also because like,
It's a 50% give or take, but
Yeah.
that's still a very high number considering the fact that you're giving it a letter grade based off the visuals and the action.
right.
or you're giving it
But
that grade
the other
based off
thing
those.
is also that it filled in a bunch of plot holes that were present in Final Fantasy XV, and if I put them back to back, it plays at least decently. If you see what I mean?
Yeah, I could see it, but overall, I'm giving Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV a D-. This movie was horrible. It looked beautiful. Sure, it may have filled in plot points if you played the game, which I have not done yet, and the action scenes were awesome. But that was it. I feel like this movie doesn't deserve that much higher just based off those 3 things. So, that's my grade. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching my reviews. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me once again. It's been forever. Glad to see you back on here.
It's good to be back.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out his page, Robo Samurai. Like and subscribe on him as well. Give him support. Give me support. And as always, this is Pop Culture Critics signing off.